Question: who do you think is more patriotic? Politicians tell you that liberals hate America. They shout it from rooftops. They say they disrespect the flag, they hate our freedoms. But true patriotism isn't about flags and slogans. What if it's about something far more profound? About fighting to make your country live up to its highest ideals, about fighting to make it better for everyone. That's what this story is about. For decades, we've heard one side try to brand another entire group of people as un American. They say we hate the very idea of this nation. But if you actually look at the history books, if you really examine the record, the story they tell us is completely different. Consider this: when our seniors faced a future without security after a lifetime of labor, who stepped up? It was the liberal fight that created Social Security. It wasn't some radical idea designed to undermine the nation. It was a promise that after years of hard work, our grandparents and parents could retire with dignity without being forced into poverty. But for all its success, Social Security is not perfect. Today, many seniors are still struggling, and payments have not kept pace with the soaring cost of living. And why is that? Because for years, while Democrats have introduced legislation to raise benefits and ensure the system's long term health, often by asking the wealthiest Americans to pay their fair share, those efforts have been blocked. The same politicians who preach about fiscal responsibility and patriotism have consistently opposed raising benefits, pushing instead for measures like raising the retirement age or privatizing the program. It seems they're okay with Social Security as long as it's just enough to keep you from falling, but not enough to let you truly thrive. That's not hating America, that's caring for its people. And what about the right to health? When the cost of medical care threatened to bankrupt our elderly, who fought tirelessly? It was liberals who championed Medicare, ensuring that seniors could see a doctor without losing everything they own. Not as a handout, but as a fundamental recognition that health is a basic human right, not a privilege reserved for the wealthy. Think about the American worker. When they demanded fair wages, safe conditions in factories and mines, and the revolutionary concept of a weekend, the very foundation of our modern workplace, who stood shoulder to shoulder with them? It was liberal leaders and powerful labor movements fighting for justice against immense corporate power. These weren't acts of destruction, they were acts of construction, building a stronger, fairer economy. And as for our veterans, the brave men and women who sacrificed so much for our freedom, when they came home from war, who helped them rebuild their lives? It was the liberal policies that forged the GI Bill, a groundbreaking initiative that opened the doors to education and home ownership for millions who served our country. It empowered a generation, fueling unprecedented growth and opportunity. This isn't hating America. This is building America. This is the messy, difficult, but essential work of making a country live up to its promise. It's the constant effort to expand opportunity, protect the vulnerable, and ensure justice for all. And yet, tragically, many of the same politicians who wave the biggest flags, who shout the loudest about patriotism, are often the ones selling out the very people they claim to represent. They champion massive tax cuts for billionaires and giant corporations, look the other way as wages stagnate, leave working families behind, struggling to get by. They wrap themselves in the flag while undermining the foundations that truly make America strong. No, liberals don't hate America. We love it enough to demand it be better. We love it enough to fight for its promise of liberty and justice for all, not just for a select few. Patriotism isn't about empty slogans or performative gestures. It's about people. It's about the relentless pursuit of a country where everyone has a fair shot, where everyone is valued, and where everyone can thrive. If you believe that patriotism should be about people, not just profits, and that a government should serve everyone, not just the wealthy, then hit that subscribe button. We've got a lot more to talk about. And remember, true patriotism is never a finish line, it's a fight for a better future. Thank you very much.